actually running for inspection?
Yeah. Well, after you get past the security side of things and making sure that you've got enough personnel early in the piece, it's almost essential to have a couple of people in the home, because you'll get a rush on. We tend to and consistently take names of people. We also have a couple of extra things we do. We inform people about the etiquette of open inspection, so what standard of behaviour is expected in the property. We have this on a card that we give out that that tells people to keep their children under supervision, not to operate pieces of equipment without talking to us, not to open the cupboards, etc., without referring to us, and not to take photographs. So there's a couple of little standard things that how we like people to behave in the property. These are not tending to be confronting for anyone, because most people would intend to behave that way anyway, but we just like to make sure. Now, in having greeted people and asked for their details and given them a brochure, etc., I usually let people experience the property without hanging off their shoulder. In my experience, it's not a good idea to be pushing. Just let them have a look, and then gauge from their body language and from any comments that they might have to make, or from their responses to your questions as to what level of interest they might have. We also, very much on guard against people who might be negative about the property. When I say on guard against, it's not really against, we're on guard about that. And what we tend to do is that we like to remove people from an area if they've got something negative to say, where they might be, if you like, disturbing other people's looking and spoiling it for them.
Manage the situation.
Manage the situation. There's something that really needs to be thought about. Very often in a open inspection, there isn't time to get every comment that you need from the purchaser or potential purchaser, and there's a need to follow up, and that's what we do. We speak to people after open inspections, find out more about their interest. You can have the buyer come and go, and not know, because you took their name at the beginning when you gave them a brochure, but you were caught talking to someone else about the property or about real estate, and easily miss them. So again, numbers of people at the property, and a certain level of security and coverage. And
do you bring everyone on the list, or just those who seem to be most interested?
We certainly have a high degree of qualification where possible. So, for example, if someone walks in the property, I want to know what brought them there. My owner, my vendor wants to know as well, because at the end of the day, if we've had nothing but people walk in off the signboard, we haven't had response or value out of our advertising. So there's a sort of a mini survey that's happening at that time. And in establishing, and with a couple of quick questions, where people stand on the property or stand in their circumstances, like, I'm only keeping an eye on the market, mate, because I've got one down the road, I might be selling in 5 years. Well, you wouldn't necessarily be worrying too much about that one as a buyer for the property. You may want to talk to them about one day about selling this, but so there's an opportunity at the open inspection to qualify people, and then particularly I like to highlight those which I believe have a heightened state of interest in the property, and if you like, make sure that they get the answers to the questions that they need in order to make a sensible decision. So often people will not buy a property because of one simple misunderstanding or misconception about it. So give yourself a chance. You've got to give them a ring to find out that. We always like them to come to us, of course, if that can possibly happen. But the truth is that you've got to, generally follow people up and establish just how interested they are in the property.
1,028,000 back with 8D. Can I say 1,030,000 for you, sir? 1,028,000 is down the middle. 130, he says. Is that what you're saying, sir? Number 12 says 1,030,000.